Welcome to the Eye on Annapolis Local Business Spotlight. There are thousands of locally owned businesses in the area, some small and some large. Some you may know and others you don't. But one thing they all have in common is a great story, and we want to share it with you. Join us every Saturday as we talk to the founders, the owners, and the managers of local businesses you have come to know and love, and those you will come to know and love. Now here's your host, John Frenay, with this week's Local Business Spotlight.
Well, I rarely give up the opportunity to come across the bridge, especially in the morning when the traffic isn't too bad. But last time we were speaking with Tricia was 2 years ago, and we were in St. Michael's. But today I had to drive a little bit further, and I'm down here in Easton with Gluten-Free Bakery Girl. How are you?
Good, doing really well. So
you were going to point to me. You were going to say something. You guys spruce something up already?
you said further, but actually it's 20 minutes closer to Annapolis.
Is Easton closer?
Yes. So because you have to still turn down and go, 10 miles down into
the geography of the Eastern Shore boggles my mind.
Yes.
I have done the Tour de Talbot, which is a bike ride that they do in June every year. They give the route, and thank gosh they do, because I have no idea where I am. I mean, we start here at Easton, right around the corner from there at the firehouse. And, we're in Oxford at one point. We're down at another, looking over some other river. Then we come over like Strawberry Creek or Peach Bottom Creek or something. Peach Blossom Creek.
Yeah.
and Trap. And I'm like, oh, well, we're just going south. And then it's like, oh, no, you're going north. And
twist is like when you drive from my house to Easton, the sun is here, and then the sun is there, and you're twisting and turning. You think you're going, and you're never going in a straight line here.
I want to talk, because, like I said, it's been 2 years since we caught up. The one thing, big change, is that you moved.
Yes.
And
bigger place.
You're at 342 North Aurora Street?
North Aurora Street.
Almost across the street from the firehouse. Those who know that in Easton. And this place is huge.
It is. It's nice because we have room to grow. And that was one of the main reasons to move, was to have room to grow. Because we still have our brick and mortar that's out front. It's only open on Fridays and Saturdays. But Monday through Friday, we're doing wholesale baking and packaging and shipping. And then we just got a flow wrapper, which wraps the product for us. We're still waiting for it to be hooked up. We'll just put it on a conveyor belt and it wraps.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
On being able to do this. And just to give you an idea of Tricia King's background, okay, and I guess this is a real Cliff Notes version, but at one point you were the pastry chef at the Annapolis Cabin.
Mm-hmm.
You did a private resort out in Scotland.
It's a private small hotel.
Okay.
In Scotland, yeah.
You were a private chef out west?
Yes, in Salt Lake City, Utah. I had my own personal chef business and clients that I cooked for every day.
And then you came here and decided to be the gluten-free bakery girl.
Yeah, so the Annapolis Cabin, and I was like, I'm going to have a gluten-free bakery somehow, some way. Planned it out, and I just worked my way into getting to where we are today.
Now, at the risk of violating HIPAA and stuff like that, do you have celiac disease?
I don't have celiac disease, but gluten does bother me.
Okay.
Like my joints, I get itchy. It's just, I can feel it right away, but I understand what celiac people go through, and all the different things that they can't have, in ways of different types of foods and things that are put into food that we wouldn't even think would be harmful.
So that's so difficult. I know that Jeff Jacobs that owns Carroll's Creek in Eastport went nut-free. And
mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then very similar to what you did, if I remember last time we spoke, I mean, keeping the kitchen gluten-free is a chore.
Yeah, it was because we are dedicated 100% certified through gluten-free program. That means that our establishment never had wheat in it, and we never bring wheat or any wheat derivative added, from into the bakery. So we are safe.
Right, which is, when you do have celiac disease, just the smallest amount. I know, like Jeff said, the smallest amount of peanuts. He can't fly on a plane, he said, because there may be
the air going around. Exactly.
Which is something that I never grew up with when I was younger. You never had to worry about bringing cupcakes into the school for.
Yeah, well, in the United States, it's 20 parts per million. And 20 parts per million is like a crumb of bread that can set someone off with celiac or into making them ill. There's all different variations, and some people are really, really sick with the celiac, and some are sick. But no matter what, they cannot have anything above 20 parts per million. But it's better to be as low as possible. So, like us, we make sure that everything that comes in is safe.
Well, I imagine that's probably very similar to having a runny nose one day and a couple sneezes, as opposed to the full-on flu.
Right.
So you want to just keep it as low as possible.
So, and they would, I understand, and they would really like it lower, and it could be lower. And also in the packaging and labeling, they're really pushing that companies that sell their product, that they really study and research before they smack that gluten-free label on there, because it could, could make someone sick. There are watchdogs out there that do run tests and make sure that these products that say gluten-free on them, that they really are gluten-free.
I've seen a number of gluten-free products. I certainly have CAs all over Annapolis.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Do they have gluten-friendly products, if you will? Like,
actually yesterday I visited a place, and it kind of makes, I have a hard time taking it when someone says gluten-friendly, because they have that cookie sitting in there in the baker case next to all the gluten-free products. Well,
you've now contaminated
now you've
free product.
Yeah, and so why even call it gluten-friendly? Just put a packaged gluten-free product in there to make it safe, that everybody, that the celiac person can have. Why call it gluten-friendly? It's not gluten-friendly now because you set it next to everything that has gluten. You just that's my soapbox.
No, fine. You deserve the soapbox. Something you just said, Tricia, that dawned on me as far as the contamination. So I guess the wrapping in the Space Wrapper 2000 or whatever it's done in is pretty critical.
Yeah, it's so important. I mean, we've done everything by hand for the last 13 years. But it's nice to be able to have the flow wrapper coming. One, because we're getting busier, and two, because when it comes down to finding employees, it's a little bit difficult nowadays. So
yeah, and that makes sense to me, that you want that wrapped because you may be very gluten-free and you're an environment, but ceremony roasters, a coffee shop.
Yeah, and
they may put them in a case, and you would want it wrapped.
Right.
As opposed to
exactly. That's what they carry our product. And I was just there yesterday doing a tasting and explaining to people about, they carry our product, but everything's individually wrapped. So safety for you. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's, again, something I never would have. I say demand, but I mean, is the need for gluten-free growing?
It is, yes. It's $4.9 billion right now. By 2032, they think it'll be about $14 billion. And then also 30% of adults choose gluten-free. And they might not be celiac, but they choose to have a gluten-free life because they feel better in their gut, in their hand, their body, all that kind of thing. That's why they tend to choose gluten-free if they're not celiac.
Well, I know with any kind of a medical condition, a lot of times the diagnosis is sort of a hit and miss. It's like allergies. It's like, okay, is it this? Is it this? Is it this? Is it this?
Yeah, it's gotten better.
I mean, what should somebody, you talked about you itch. I mean, what are the symptoms, I guess, that there may be a gluten intolerance?
There's 200 symptoms. Beyond Celiac and National Celiac Association just put out, there's 200 symptoms that come with having celiac disease.
So it's not necessarily just gut issues.
Usually it's, I think they know instantaneous if they've been glutened, and they become ill. And sometimes they can be 3 days, 3 weeks, being ill. But there are tests, there are doctors that work with people with celiac and that's able to find. We had one child come in, and the mom had no idea what was wrong with him. He was, sluggish and not feeling well all the time after eating and getting things checked. And eventually he started losing his hair, and that really scared her. So she finally found a doctor that tested and did everything to find out he really does have celiac disease. So now he's on the road to recovery, because all that's the villi in your intestines, it shrinks back and you're not taking in any nutrients. So no wonder he was losing his hair, because he wasn't getting the vitamins and the nutrients that he needed.
Wow.
To be healthy. And so when they find out that you have celiac, they put you on the celiac diet, and the villi starts to recover, and you eventually start to be able to take in those nutrients. People still have trouble. I mean, it's not. They try to go out and have dinner. There's some really good places that are safe. We traveled to Boston. I was amazed at the places around Boston that were celiac friendly.
Well, I think a lot of large,
Not celiac friendly, but a full restaurant actually that was for celiacs.
that's great.
Yeah.
Everybody likes to eat out.
They do.
And I've got to imagine that it has to be very challenging for somebody. I have a little bit of a lactose intolerance, and I do love a good milkshake or a good ice cream cone, but I know it's going to not agree with me.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's sometimes I do make the conscious decision that says, okay, well, I'm going to still deal with it.
Do I want to deal with it tomorrow?
It's like, yes, I will. So I imagine it's just got to be very difficult. I mean, that's a very easy decision in the grand scheme of things for me. But for somebody that really does get ill.
Yeah, it's very difficult for them to go out. I mean, the flavorings. Flavorings could have gluten in it. Like the flavored tuna, you have to check everything. So say you like the tuna packet, but you have to check that because the flavoring that they're using probably has wheat in it. And things you didn't think would have wheat or wheat-related items that are on the list end up in that food. So you have to check everything, and you have to. So but they were saying instead of asking if it's gluten-friendly, ask if it's celiac-friendly, like celiac safe. So
Okay. Celiac safe.
yeah, and celiac-friendly. That way they are trained to know, oh, I'm sorry, you can't have this.
And I will say that I think a lot of restaurants are getting much better as far as letting their staff and their servers and everybody know that. And I mean, I haven't been into one where it says, hey, if you've got any allergies or special needs, let me know. Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah. Some kitchens do have that space that's set aside separate that they can make a gluten-free meal or dessert.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your growth and the Gluten-Free Bakery Girl. I mean, your menu, for lack, is that considered a menu when what you do? Or
just kind of our items and our menu. I mean, it is a menu because if you go on our website, those are all the items in the menu.
But your website is very simply glutenfreebakerygirl.com. It is what it is.
Yeah, and people call me Bakery Girl instead of the Gluten-Free Bakery Girl, which is fine too. So they recognize me as the Bakery Girl.
There you go. Well, has the menu expanded since we last talked?
It has. A couple years ago, I was doing tarts on our menu, and not just the mini handheld tart.
Right.
And we had quickly shifted into the bars because of employment issue, but the bars have done really well. But I'm excited to say that we have a tart press, so we are bringing our tarts back, which I'm really excited about because I really missed and was sad that I had to get rid of the handheld tarts.
And those are little like 4-inch.
Yeah, raspberry Bakewell tart. Yeah. And then our pecan walnut tart, and then we're going to add a new one. We have a bar, an apple pie bar, that we do, but we're going to turn it into the apple pie tart. The apple crumble tart.
Nice.
So yeah, because they're handheld, they're not as messy. People really love them. And then we have our traditionals like our lemon bars and our brownies. And with the holidays coming up, we have all of our specialty items we bring out, like our gingerbread donuts, our gingerbread men, and then our sugar cookies and our cookie boxes for gifts.
I'm starting to think that you're not about this whole gluten-free. You're more about fattening everybody up.
If you eat it on Saturday, right, it doesn't have any calories, right? So
your menu is expanded, it's changing a little bit, but
bringing back some of the older items that I got rid of when we shifted to our website or to our different kitchen. Like we're bringing back our little bundt cakes too. So things that people really liked, we're bringing back.
Very cool. And you said your retail store, which is, as I walked in the front, and it's this little tiny little store.
Yeah.
It's sort of like the I guess like the Wizard of Oz. You got the little thing, and then all of a sudden you open the big behind you, where the inner workings are.
Exactly. So, you only see the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
You don't see all the other stuff going on behind the scenes.
And everybody was busy working, making gluten-free treats and everything else there.
And prepping and
have you ever considered? I mean, you focus on treats and sweets and
Yes.
and the good stuff. Have you ever considered doing other?
Like savory items? Is that
Well, other types of gluten-free foods.
not in prepped food.
Okay.
Not like that, no. But I'm always trying to look for a savory item that we can make and ship or make and have out on our customer shelves.
Okay.
So something. So I'm always working on trying to find which is going to be the best and have the shelf stableness that is needed to have like in the Graul's markets or the coffee shops that we supply.
Right.
So
Well, I'll tell you, your move here to Easton is sort of interesting because Easton's become sort of, I think, foodie central. And someone told me I was nuts. And I said, when was the last time you were in Easton? And they were like, I don't know, it was like 8 years ago or something like that. I'm like, you haven't been here since Paul Prager moved into town.
yeah, there's some upscale, restaurants and bakeries and tea place, yeah, that he has brought into
I mean, there was a Tidewater Inn that was always been there forever, but it's just, there's some wonderful shops that are Easton, and Easton is a great place to go. But your retail store up front is, you said, open just limited hours?
So yeah, so pre-order and then pick up at the door on Wednesdays. But we
So you almost that window like you had it.
like you did in St. Michael's because we've done it that way since 2020. So picking up on Wednesdays, and so you just pre-order and come to the door between 12 and 3, and then on Fridays and Saturdays you can come inside the shop and get your goodies. You can even pre-order to pick up your order on Friday from 10 to 4, Saturday 8:30 to 3:30. And so you can pre-order and pick up then also, or you can just come in and shop.
Okay.
So like you can pre-order cakes that we do for the weekend. You can come in and get a latte with your dessert that you're buying that day or come in and shop what you're going to need for the week, treats for the week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can pick up pretty much any day.
Yeah, that we have
Pre-order.
pre-order, or we have stuff in the cases, in the baker cases. But if you want to just have a quick in and out, grab your stuff and go, pre-order.
Makes it convenient.
Yeah, especially if you want a cake, 48 hours in advance for a cake.
That's why.
Yeah,
That's great.
because we need to advance to to make it and decorate it and those kind of
Well,
things.
I know I went to your website again, glutenfreebakerygirl.com, and I couldn't see what I saw 2 years ago. But when I said, like, where can you buy our stuff page, and it had a little bit more nicer term on it than
Right.
Where do you buy our stuff?
wow. I mean, you're
Every year.
And there's so many more I still need to get up on there because all the Graul's markets in Maryland carry our product. And then there's many coffee shops, like all the ceremony coffees and the bean rushes and the big beans. And
right.
there's all these different shops that have multiple shops that carry our stuff and our product. And then down to the beach. But then we also sell on Fair, which is a wholesale portal that any coffee shop or shop can go in and look, oh, I'm really interested in gluten-free products. So they type it in and we pop up. And so anywhere in the U.S. can order from us. So we have customers in California and Nevada and Washington, in Minnesota and Michigan. So is that, and also in Pennsylvania, and that go on to that portal and order, and then we just ship out to them. And then they have our product all nationwide. So
That's very cool that the coffee industry or the coffee shop industry has their own little.
it's not just coffee. Like we have gift shops that want to have our product in their store. So then they order from, the portal to have that too.
What's the shelf life of some of the stuff?
So 2 weeks on the shelf, 2 months in the fridge, and 6 months to a year in the freezer.
Okay.
So yeah, they have really good longevity. We don't put any extras in there. Like our product is clean, butter, flour, sugar. We don't put any chemicals or chemicals. I mean, sugar is a preservative, but that's just desserts. So
It is.
yeah, but we don't put all that extra. Like I always get the question, do we use soy? We don't use soy. What we do we have our sugar cookies, but the sprinkles, which is really hard to move away from soy lecithin. So you can't do those if you have an issue with soy. But we don't put soy in things as a flour or an oil or anything like that.
Interesting. Well, I mean, we can order online. We can pre-order and come down to Easton and pick it up.
Yeah.
Certainly, you can look to where can you buy and see an incomplete list at this point.
Yeah. And then shipping. nationwide.
Okay, so we can order online and say, hey, I need well, I know it's the holidays and you've got your gift boxes.
Yeah. So yeah, you can order anything that's on the website and have it shipped.
How long will it take? I mean,
So the order comes, well, so I say anything, but pies are out of, we don't do ship pies.
haven't found a good person.
Yeah, anything that's shelf stable, we ship. And then if you are in the state of Maryland, so the order comes in 3 to 4 days later, we ship your order. And we usually try to ship on Wednesdays and Thursdays, but if it's really far, we ship on Mondays. And then if you're inside Maryland and some of the states like Delaware and Virginia and that, UPS ships ground arrives the next day. Yeah.
Without
So yeah,
the box.
exactly. So you're, paying a lower price doing ground to have it shipped to your door. And if we ship on Wednesday, you have it on Thursday.
Right. Well, what I will say, I would like to double dip because I like to support local businesses. So, but if you have a coffee shop in your area that has it, carries your product,
Yes. Please
buy
support them.
there
Yeah.
and support them.
Please support them. That's why we do the wholesale, is so it's, and also it's easier access for you. So you don't have to come down here. You don't have to get online and shop. You can go to the Graul's markets. You can go to the like all the coffee shops in Annapolis pretty much carry our product, up into Baltimore.
I was eyeing them up at Bread and Butter the other on Wednesday. That's for a fact. I was walked down there for my breakfast and.
Yeah, and up in are you up in like in the Crofton area? Cozy's like one of the newest coffee shops. I mean, in that area, which is nice because now they have some coffee shop up in that area. My customers are important. I really want to make sure that they're taken care of and they're happy. So
Well, I bet it also gives you an idea of what the demand is and where your next direction is going as well.
yeah,
So that's I'm amazed at the size of your place now.
thank you.
And
Thank you.
I think I do miss your little window that I got.
No.
Through window was kind of cool.
That was nice.
That was if in the one at St. Michael's, for those that didn't listen to the last one, during COVID, there was an issue and there was a little you were on the corner and there was a little tiny window on the side of the and you could just
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna
it
do?
was a walk-up window.
Yeah. I turned around and I was like, oh, we have this perfect window right here and then the glass window with the shelves. We're set. Okay, let's keep rolling.
You've been in cooking all of your life, pretty much.
Yeah, I've always loved it. So I'm always thinking of, it's always around food, like wanting to do like, everyone does the YouTube, like cooking things like that. And I would love to do like gluten-free, savory cooking, something like that. Do there. I love that. I love food photography, and digital marketing and that. So I try to move away from food, but I can't. It's everything comes back to it, and I study. I've always studied and wanted to learn and know. Like if I don't understand something, then I go and study it, or I don't know how to do something.
Did you go to school for food?
I did not.
No.
I did not. I just have been baking and cooking since I was little. My mom baked a lot. I remember watching Julia Child when I was little, and she probably was making cream puffs or something, because I remember telling my mom, I want to make cream puffs, and I do remember making them, when I was little. So
Hey, what's the secret for a popover? Do you know? You were a pastry chef to make them come. Mine always come out like hockey pucks.
well, like if you're doing like the Scottish or the English, now the puddings, the Yorkshire pudding, they heat the pan with the hot oil in it. So when you put that in there, that hot pan and oil is what makes it rise up.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and they do have a specific popover pan.
Yeah, a little bit larger than a muffin
Yeah,
thing.
but the heat and the oil is what makes that rise really,
Because that's the thing. Mine always like kind of they're. I mean, it still tastes good. I mean, it's the flour, salt, eggs,
yeah.
and milk or something like that.
Yeah.
It's very
But you can make them gluten free, but I don't really make them. Some of these Yorkshire puddings are really good
So it's the oil. You preheat the pan and
with oil in it. Yeah, and then when they put that in there and then put it back in the oven.
burn oil, not spray.
No, not spray. It's like a little teaspoon of oil in each of the cavities.
Okay.
And then you heat the container and the oil. And when you put that batter in there, it's got that heat to help push it up.
God, now
That's why Yorkshire puddings make that nice little bowl.
there are several dishes that I love to do that I fail miserably at when I try to cook at them. French onion soup is another one of them, and béarnaise sauce is difficult,
Uh-huh.
and the popovers. I know my girlfriend and I did a cooking class at Sur La Table, I guess it was in Rockville or something like that, and it was great. I mean, but and it's always really nice when people have like everything all measured out for you, and somebody saying, okay, now cut it this way and dice it that way. But it's fun. But this is an awesome option for those that are gluten intolerant.
Yes. Yeah.
I would say it's an awesome option for people that are just maybe looking to have that sweet tooth, that are looking to eat a little bit better than the prepackaged crap that you think of.
Yeah, I mean, because it's all natural stuff. We're not putting anything in there. The servings are pretty good size. I mean, $4.75 for our brownie or lemon bar, but you're looking at a 4-ounce serving. It's a 2-person serving. Yeah, and our product is the taste. The taste is always, and the texture has been my main drive for making our product, and the flours that we use and mix, because it's for the person that has celiac. They want to have an enjoyable life still. They want to be able to enjoy and not have to have that weird.
This tastes great.
Yeah, are you sure this is gluten free? That's what
That's what you strive for.
yeah.
Yes.
And then when we have other people that don't have to eat that way eat it, they can't believe that it's gluten-free because it doesn't have that weird grainy flavor or texture. And we don't like over, sugar anything. It is a real recipe, not extra just to cover some flavor. It's not. Our gourmet flavors and texture. So it's taste, texture, and trust.
I will say that
brand,
when I'm eating your products, the taste is very hard to distinguish between, I would say like a Twinkie, but I mean, that's not, but traditional types of sweets. Texture, I find it's a little bit more dense.
Certain ones are just because of a certain flour, but the flavor and the
Flavor is
yeah.
is
From
really
this is okay, but you don't want that, crumbly in your mouth.
I will say, for me anyhow, the density, maybe it was psychosomatic, but filled me up a little bit better than a thing that's, has the flour or, the wheat that's risen and everything
Yeah.
else. So, okay.
Yeah.
You talked about recipes. I mean, do you come up with these yourself?
I did. Yeah. Well, I studied because I've always studied recipes. So, and then at the very beginning, I was looking at other people that were doing gluten-free. This is 15, 16 or more years ago. Well, I've been doing this for 20 years in pastry chef. I tried everybody's recipes that I was researching. And I'm like,
job.
I love R&D. It's one of my favorite things. But I was like, why do you need all of these flours to make this? So I just kept throwing out flours so I could bring it down to be more simple and not have to mix 7 flours to make a loaf of bread, or to make the lemon bar. So I did all of that and researched and brought it down to where they are my recipes because I did the research. I made it out of what I studied.
What are you looking to do to expand it? Is there a food or a flavor that you like? I need to figure a way to bring this to market.
So we have so many products. I should not add any more, unless it's like a savory item. That is probably
It's a seasonal, I guess, for the holidays.
Well, and we do have the seasonals. Like right now we have our pumpkin donuts, and then pretty soon we'll be rolling into gingerbread donuts. The apple cider donuts, we have those, and they run for quite a while. And then we move into our cinnamon sugar donuts after the holidays. So
When's your busiest time of year? Is it the holiday?
it's the holidays and it's in the summer too, because then we have all the beach traffic, and then we have all our customers down at the beach that need supplies.
That's perfect. I mean, even if you go down the beach for a week and you've got
Yeah, it's right there. Rehoboth, Bethany, and Ocean City.
Sure.
So you've got everything, right all down there, and then up to Milton. So there's all different.
with a 2-week shelf life.
Yeah, and we're right off the road now. Because before, if you came down, you had to travel 9 miles into St. Michael's and 9 miles out. Now, right here at Chapel Road,
Right.
you come in a mile, you turn around, go back out a mile, and you're right back on the road.
Back on the highway.
Yeah, so it's really easy to get to our store.
Makes it convenient.
Yeah.
Gluten-Free-Bakery-Girl.com. You want to check it out. You want to check out the where to buy link because you'll be absolutely amazed at the short list because it's going to be getting longer pretty soon. If none of those places are convenient to you, order online and
Or ask.
Yeah.
Ask if you go to a coffee shop or they don't have our product and you're gluten-free and you need something, ask them. We'll send them samples and then, yeah.
Well, as I say, because you're all over. I mean, those places that whole list you have, except
Yeah.
maybe the ones in Michigan. But I mean, you're not. You physically are loading them up in a car and driving across the bridge and taking them to bread and butter and to Bean Rush and to
Yeah.
Sarah
We all
Yummy
did
and
Townsend, Delaware, all the way down that way. And so, yeah.
do you have a driver that does that, or you?
I used to do it until 2 years ago. I enjoyed doing the deliveries because I got to see my customers that we supply. So,
And how frequently are you delivering over to your?
so every Wednesday we do the Western Shore, and then every Thursday we do the Eastern Shore.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
So,
your gluten-free treat is never too far away.
exactly. Ship. Go to your favorite coffee shop. Come to us on the weekends. So,
And for those that are generally listening to this in the Maryland area, shipping is literally overnight.
yes, because so like I said, we ship on Wednesdays and Thursdays. If we ship Wednesday, you have it on Thursday, which I think is great that UPS does that.
Try these treats. You're going to be surprised. Even if you're not gluten intolerant or, have celiac, you will be surprised at these treats. I know when we spoke 2 years ago, I didn't make it too far out of the parking lot behind your old place before I was like unwrapping one of the lemon bars and going, totally expecting to be eating some flavored cardboard. And I was like, oh my. I had dinner that night with my girlfriend, and she was the same reaction. I was like, wow, these are good.
They're so, it's life altering because now you're like, I can't have all of this. But nowadays it's so much easier to get like your gluten-free bread and your gluten-free pasta. There's some really good gluten-free pastas out there. And I just cook them 2 minutes longer than what the box says and it comes out. I really like it. So, and then, yeah, it's a little easier now. And then you don't, I think what happens is you get scared and you don't realize that a lot of the food that you already eat, if you're a meat and potatoes person,
Yeah.
you just have to watch the spices that you're putting on it. You got to check the spice container. Is there wheat in my container of spices? So,
I could probably do gluten-free. I mean,
yeah, you feel better. Your joints don't hurt so bad. I mean, my mom, when she moved out here 3 years ago, her hip was really hurting her. And I was like, well, you're here now and this is a gluten-free house. So, it went away. It reduces the inflammation in your body. It's not, it's not like, oh, I'm never going to hurt again, but it reduces the amount of inflammation that's in your body. So the pain's not as bad. Yeah. That's why people with rheumatoid arthritis or arthritis, it's just good to go gluten-free to reduce the inflammation in your body. That's why people with Crohn's disease, Lyme's disease, and then autoimmune diseases and celiac, they go gluten-free because they feel better.
this is fascinating.
It's nice to be able to eat a hamburger and not bloat because of the bun that is full of wheat and flour. But if you can get there's some really nice gluten-free buns out there, and you can actually eat the hamburger and not be achy or sick in your gut or, all of those things. So,
And that's a good thing.
yes, that's a very good thing. Very good thing.
But Tricia, I want to thank you so much for inviting me down here again.
Thank you for coming.
Gluten-Free-Bakery-Girl.com. If you're down in Easton, you want to stop there right on Aurora Street.
Right across from Bloom Salon. Yeah.
Friday and Saturday, you can come in and browse the shop. Don't bring like 10 of your friends because I'm not sure that all of you could fit in here, but
We could. They said it's okay. They can fit.
But you can pre-order and you can come pick up pretty much any time, have it shipped to you, or stop at your local favorite coffee house and
Grocery store.
pick it up. And if they don't have it, tell them that you want it.
Yes.
So if you're going into Whole Foods and Bezos or something like that, tell them to call Tricia. We need to get the Gluten-Free Bakery Girl products on.
We want it to be easy access.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, you grew out of St. Michael's, you've expanded here, the places that you are, the list is probably quadrupled since I last,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
we last spoke, and the space is almost doubled.
Yes. Yeah. It's wonderful to have room to grow, and the space here is wonderful. And we're going into our 14th year.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I want to check back in a couple of years and see where we are. Maybe we'll have 2 pages on where to buy it.
Maybe we'll have a bigger building.
But thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for listening to this week's Local Business Spotlight. Please make sure to visit eyeonannapolis.net for all your local news, events, and opinion. And in case you haven't already, please subscribe to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, where we bring you all the day's local news direct to your phone, tablet, or computer in about 10 minutes. It comes to you at 6 a.m. every Monday through Friday, and you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.